Hello, this is the TradeSite US stock Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 1st of December. We are now in the last month of the year, 2019, ending Friday the 6th. Hope you had a good trading week. It's been very boring in Forex, actually, to be honest. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving, though. Here's a look at the dollar index chart. Dead in the middle of a very narrow year's range, one of the worst I've seen overall for a year in a long time. So let's just go through the major daily charts. We'll talk about the intra-week action, even though there was a two-day holiday essentially, and then we'll go from there. The euro dollar, the inverse of the dollar index, not much here. The pound dollar, flat that's been while we wait for Brexit or no Brexit. It's been going on for a long time. Remember this spike in the market? If I slide this all the way, you just keep sliding it back and sliding it back. It's like, how long ago was this? Right? And there was your Brexit deal right there, or the original announcement of Brexit. That was June of 2016. Here we are, 3+ years later, and they still can't figure it out. And so the pound is now stuck trying to figure out what's really happening. Here's the Aussie dollar, very narrow range. The euro yen, totally flat. The pound yen, maybe the flattest of all the pairs. The pound Swiss, also very flat, and New Zealand. I mean, these are untradeable. All right, let's take a look at the inter-week action. So we got 30-minute candles, high to low for the week. On the euro dollar, get this, 50 pips of range for the entire week. And by the way, we traded that on Friday. If you take Friday out, it's 40 pips of range for the week. 40 pips. We should trade 120 pips per day, 40 pips for the whole week. On the pound side, not much better, 130 pips max. It's usually one day's range. It was the whole week. So again, this has been a very uneventful period in Forex. Obviously, you got the holiday Thursday and Friday here in the U.S., but still, that's a pretty dramatic lack of action. Let's go into the economic data coming out the week ahead. So Sunday, we've got the AIG Manufacturing Index out of Australia, Overseas Trade Index out of New Zealand, Japan's capital spending, MI inflation gauge out of Australia, along with their building approvals, company operating profits out of Australia, some data out of Japan and China. Then you got the commodity prices out of Australia, retail sales out of Switzerland. That's at 2:30 a.m. Eastern time going into Monday morning. Spanish manufacturing PMI, Swiss manufacturing, Italian, French, German, and the broad European sector, and then the UK's, all these within about an hour of each other. The flat final manufacturing PMI numbers out of Europe. We got the manufacturing PMI then out of Canada, then the US. Construction spending, then Monday night monetary base out of Japan, current account, and the Bank of Australia has a rate announcement at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time Monday night. 10-year bond auction out of Japan. CPI out of Switzerland. French government budget balance. Spanish unemployment change. UK's got their construction PMI. Europe's got their PPI. Ward's total vehicle sales out of the US. GDT price index out of New Zealand. AIG services index out of Australia. Also the GDP out of Australia, CACSA services PMI out of China, and then the same out of Spain, Italy, France, Germany, the broad European sector, the UK. Look how they line all these up. 10-year bond auction out of the UK, and then Germany. ADP non-farm employment change here in the US. Labor productivity out of Canada. Final services PMI out of the US. Bank of Canada has a rate announcement on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. ISM non-manufacturing PMI. We got crude oil inventories at 10:30 on Wednesday here in the U.S. Australia has their retail sales and trade balance number. 30-year bond auction out of Japan. German factory orders. Final employment change here out of Europe. Retail sales, revised GDP out of Europe. Spanish 10-year bond auction out of Europe. French 10-year bond auction. Challenger job kits out of the U.S. Trade balance here out of the U.S. along with here in the U.S. and in Canada. That's one of our big three each month, so we will be half size ahead of that Wednesday night going into Thursday. IV PMI out of Canada, Natty Gas here in the U.S., AIG Construction Index out of Australia, household spending out of Japan, and that leads us into Friday with Japan's leading indicators, German industrial production, French trade balance, Halifax HPI out of the UK, Italian retail sales, unemployment rate out of Canada, but also out of the U.S. So that's another one of our big three numbers. So trade balance one night, unemployment rate the next. We'll be half size ahead of both of those. Preliminary University of Michigan sentiment for December, final wholesale inventories, and then at the end of the day or late on the day on Friday, consumer credit. That's the week ahead. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trade.